2, 1. All right, welcome back to Sports Opinions with Regular Guys. Again, you got Mike, got Ralph, Frank.
How y'all doing?
What's going on?
We're back again. So we got our show today. This one's going to be dedicated to the NBA, and we will talk about some Chicago sports, namely the Chicago Bulls and how they've been playing lately, especially after last night's game. But first, we're going to talk about the trades, NBA trades. I mean, there was a big surprising one that came out of nowhere that no one really expected, and it happened. I mean, we talked about it, and no one thought that anyone would take Ben Simmons back and bring him in as a vital piece, to the team. And guess what? Even after James Harden pledged his allegiance to Brooklyn, saying that he wanted to be there, he wanted to stay there. Steve Nash last week was out saying, they would not be trading him. Guess what? He got traded for Ben Simmons and the great Seth Curry. What do you guys think about this?
Well, first of all, I like the trade. I'm not a big fan of Harden. I just think Harden kind of slips on a lot when it comes to defense.
Wow.
He doesn't really pay attention. His offensive game is there. Don't get me wrong, but your defense can't be as lackluster as your offense. You can't do that, and especially be called a star and just be a person that's supposed to be that next tier player. What do you think about that, Frank?
Well, you forgot. They also added Paul Millsap to that trade, too.
Yes, they did. Which is good.
Well, I'll say that it did shock me. It came as a big surprise to me. I mean, I heard about the rumors a few days before about Harden wasn't happy in Brooklyn and wanted to get out of there. I didn't believe that because the man just got there a couple of years ago. His son,
last year. Was it like last year?
It's been like 2 years, It's been like this, like the third year. But, they were together. They put this team together so they can win championships. They just haven't played together because they haven't been healthy. But it came as a shock to me because I didn't really know that Harden wanted out of Brooklyn. He was happy when he went there, and what happened? What changed?
He forced that trade there,
Well, I mean, I for one was surprised, and I'll be honest, I can't believe anyone would pick up Ben Simmons. That I agree. That guy is pure garbage. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm not saying
I will say it. He is a pure
that.
garbage player.
Wow.
He hasn't played at all this year because he didn't want to play. Why don't you play this year? Why don't you suck it up? Get your ass on the court and play. You're not injured. You just didn't want to play.
Yeah, you don't want to play because, hey, you felt
trade.
It doesn't matter. You get paid millions of dollars to get your butt on the court and play.
You can't.
Even if you don't like the team, you signed there. You agreed to play there. You signed there. If you didn't like them, you shouldn't have signed there.
What are you talking about?
Okay?
He was there before. It's just
The
didn't.
process.
Yeah, right.
In my opinion, he is well below average player.
Wow.
He is an average. He's a little bit above average defender. I mentioned this how many times with this guy.
Sorry about that.
I've been saying for how long he is way overrated. How many times did the media, particularly the East Coast media, how they were just, oh my God, were they just spreading this guy left and right. Ben Simmons is going to improve. He's going to get better with his shot next year. You'll see next year. Next year comes, his shot still sucks. Oh, he's going to be better next year. Just wait. You just wait. Next year he's going to be better. No. Next year, same crap. No. Worse. He got worse than the year before. Worse than the year before that. The man can't shoot free throws. He can't shoot at all. All he can do is maybe rebound and maybe play a little bit above defense, average defense.
No.
But here's the thing.
That's false.
But here's the thing. This trade is going to hurt Brooklyn because they're losing, what is Harden average a game?
About 24.
He's capable of putting up over 30 a game.
Yeah.
Any night. His three-point shooting alone will knock the lights out of teams.
I keep telling you, his defense is going to come in to hurt that team.
Where are they going to
pick? Doesn't like that.
Where are they going to pick up the other scoring? They're giving up. They just traded away 20-plus points a game for someone who averages what? 14? 15?
Seth Curry can bring you about.
Seth Curry is not bringing you 20 a game every night.
Not 20, but he can give you a good double.
Add what Ben Simmons is going to bring you. He's going to bring you about 12 to 14 points a night.
Exactly.
Seth Curry will bring you an additional 15 to 17 points a night, and that basically equals out what Harden's doing, except now you have defense.
Yes.
So that's going to be
somebody who's willing to play defense.
That's going to be a difference. But first of all, we're going to talk about Ben Simmons. So
okay. Go ahead.
Frank is really excited about this because I used to talk him up myself. I'm not going to lie about it. For about a good 2 years, I've been talking to this man saying how Ben Simmons is an elite defender. You can see, I mean, the man is athletic. He's lengthy, he's athletic, he's got quick reflexes, great hands, but all he does is dunk. Sometimes lay the ball up, but mostly he's a dunker. He has been trying to work on his shot, and I've been saying that to everybody, like, hey, give him a chance. He's gonna be practicing this summer, and you know what? It looks like the pressure got to him in Philly. He lost the game. I mean, I'm gonna just say it. He did lose that game for them. Because
game? We're talking multiple games in the playoffs.
Yeah, because of his.
Let's not say one game.
Because of his
the whole series.
Poor free throw shooting.
Okay.
And
it takes a team.
He can't make he can't shoot free throws. Clutch time
they
free throws.
Targeted him.
Exactly. I would have done the same thing. I would have fouled him every time. Get over the line.
And he missed so many. He airballed like some free throws.
And he can't shoot. He can't shoot.
He can shoot.
He cannot shoot.
He can shoot.
He can shoot underneath the rim. That's how he shoots.
Just like DeRozan does mostly.
Let's not even compare that.
That's what.
Let's not compare that.
Who's comparing? You're not listening. It's not a comparison. What it is where you shoot the ball. 15-footers are different than 3-pointers.
He can't shoot that though, Ralph. He can't shoot. He can't even shoot 10-footers.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't. He's a horrible shooter.
No.
He could like I said, he could dunk the ball. He could dunk the ball and lay the ball up.
Yes.
Like every NBA player should be able to do.
And he can handle.
But he can't. He can't shoot.
Positions
he can't shoot out. He can't shoot outside the paint. That's given. He can't make free throws. That's given, especially during clutch time. What are you good for?
So that's going to be my issue with him. So that's my issue with him.
Okay,
right?
Cool.
So now he felt like he got betrayed by Joel Embiid, for saying, well, he did.
If I'm Joel Embiid, I'm like,
your teammate is supposed to have your back.
Exactly.
But then when he came out and he said, when he was supposed to take that shot and he didn't, and he lost it. He basically said that Ben Simmons lost the series for them. So yeah, he felt betrayed. The coach was out there. He didn't have Ben Simmons' back either. He was like, hey, that choice of a shot affected it. So boom, he left out because psychologically, he knows he's gonna be criticized and he can't do it in Philly. So now you're in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. So are you telling me that the media is not gonna be questioning him every single time about this?
You're in New York's media.
Nothing is gonna
New York
change.
media market.
You're gonna go to some games where the crowd is just gonna be doing that just to mess with you. So mentally, it's gonna be there. He just didn't want to play for Philly anymore because he felt like he was betrayed.
Well, let's look at this.
Okay.
So now he's in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget, Ben Simmons has not played a game since May of last year or June of last year. I think it was May or June of last year. He hasn't played a game since then. Yeah, but when was that? He got eliminated. He didn't make it all the way to the end. So his season was over by around May or June is when his last game was. That's how long ago was that?
Okay, so you think these players now just sitting home?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. He's not even coming on the team right away. They already said no. He's not coming on the team right away. He has to get into basketball shape. They said he has to get implemented with the game again.
He just got to get in right shape.
Okay, he's not gonna probably play for about a month.
Are you saying that he hasn't been in the gym? He hasn't been practicing?
I'm not saying he hasn't been in the gym, but he has not had any NBA playing experience since last summer or last spring.
When Ben Simmons finally plays for Brooklyn, he's not going to be as dependent, or I should say relied on as much as he was in Philly. It's going to be a whole different game. Yep. Kyrie's going to be there scoring. Yeah. Same thing as Durant.
But
that's why he's going to be there for rebounds, assists, and
But
defense.
The problem with that is,
and for 15,
we can't predict what's going to happen in Brooklyn because Durant is on and off with injuries.
He'll be back.
Kyrie Irving can only play road games.
Those things are about to change right now.
No, how far are we in the season already?
It doesn't matter. All it is.
Brooklyn is what are they at now? Brooklyn is
on
are they on a 9-game losing streak?
10
game losing streak.
Lost 10.
And they're damn near about to fall out of playoff contention. And you're telling me, yes they are. What are they at, 8th or 9th now?
I think
So we're around
I think
there?
they're sitting in 10th. I can actually check.
So they're on the verge of falling out altogether.
Yeah.
They can make it in the play-in, and they can make it from there.
You don't want to try to get this team in the play. This team was expected to go to the championship.
Yeah, but look what happened. I mean,
So now
here's
the
you
thing.
can't predict that.
Here's what's going to happen. Well, I don't have.
So Brooklyn's at 8th right
8th.
now.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Okay.
So now you got to get Ben Simmons up to speed with the team. You got to get him into shape. You in basketball, NBA playing shape.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how long he's been.
Shape,
As long as he's been.
Because he's in shape.
He had no training camp. He has no training camp. So now he has to get into the game, go into practicing, and then they get all that taken care of. So it's going to be a while before he gets into the team. And then when he does come with the team, Durant is now how long is he out for coming off of his injury? We don't even know when he's going to come back.
Yeah.
And then when he does come back, at the time that he comes back and Ben Simmons comes back and Kyrie Irving again only play road games. They have not changed that. They still can only play road games.
Well,
so you're telling me
that's changing.
that these three
mandates are going away.
Exactly.
face masks, but in New York I haven't heard anything about that mandate going away. They're getting rid of the mask, but they ain't saying anything about the vaccination. That hasn't gone away.
That's true.
So as of right now, until otherwise said, he can't play road games. So now you're saying that when Durant does come back from injury, when Ben Simmons does play, finally plays, and Kyrie Irving going to play part-time games, they all got to gel. And you're talking they're going to gel in like the last 20 games of the season, and then all of a sudden miraculously get into the playoff. They're in the playoff tournament now, right? The play-in tournament right now. So you're saying that's a one and done, right? I think if you're like the
Trust
7th.
me, by the time the playoffs,
I don't think that's enough time for
everybody's
these.
gonna be there.
They've never played together. They don't know each other's games. They don't know anything about each other. So you're putting these guys together. You think they're gonna play? I don't think. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Ben Simmons is not used to playing with them. Kyrie Irving hasn't played with Durant a few games last year, no games the year before. So I don't get it. They don't.
Each other off season,
They don't. Don't they off season? What off season?
Okay.
What off season?
Summertime.
Ben Simmons. Harden's not there no more.
Yeah, we're not talking about
Kyrie Irving has not played. He just now started playing a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's only playing road games. I'm sorry, but if you think they just turn on the light switch, they're 29 and 26 right now. Okay.
He can practice
So-
with the team. You know that, Frank.
He can practice with who?
Kyrie.
He can practice. Can he practice with them in New York?
You know.
I don't know if he
He
can
can
practice
practice
with New
with
York.
the
He can't practice with them in
He
New
cannot.
York.
He cannot.
He cannot participate in anything in New York. Only on the road. He can't do
As far as games.
and practice.
Remember,
Yeah,
he was
there's a mandate.
he was trying to get the team to come out to where he's staying at a gym that was like an hour and a half away from where they were at.
Okay.
And
My
they
mistake.
said no, they don't want to.
So I'm saying he's a part-time player.
Stay corrected.
He's a part-time player. So you have a part-time player. You have a player who hasn't played at all this year since June. Then you have another player coming off of serious injuries. You don't know how much he's going to give you when he does come back off of injuries. And you're going to tell me, oh, they're just going to gel all of a sudden with 20, 25 games left in the season, and then all of a sudden get in the playing game, and then all of a sudden make some kind of run and just beat the top teams ahead of them? I don't think so. If they happen to get into the playoffs, in my opinion, right now, they are on a downslide, and by the time they get everybody together, I think they're going to be in 11th or 12th spot. And I think they may miss the playoffs, just like the Lakers are probably going to miss the playoffs.
Okay.
So
whatever.
that's on that. Now,
We'll talk on
we,
that.
we,
Yeah,
we,
we'll
we,
talk
we,
on
we,
that.
we've talked enough about Brooklyn. You know,
Well,
I have no sympathy
let's not
for
forget
them.
that they also get Andre Drummond.
Exactly.
So that's some more size that they were missing.
That size in the middle, but they need, as you know, in the NBA,
Mhm.
in this competitive conference now, the East is much more competitive than it has been the last couple of years.
Mhm.
You know, the teams are much better now.
Look at the standings.
Exactly. I mean, only
You can drop
between
like-
1 through 5 is only separated by 2.5 games.
Mhm. You can't slip.
Okay, so Brooklyn is already 6.5 out of the top spot. They were just in first place a month ago, weren't they?
Yeah.
It
But
happens.
So
Same with the Bulls, right?
well, yeah, but with even with the Bulls' injuries, they didn't slip that far off. I mean, they're only a game out of the top spot. We're talking Brooklyn has lost 10 in a row.
Before we move on to the next one, so my opinion, I definitely want to get that out. My opinion for James Harden wanting to get out of Brooklyn, I think had a lot to do with not actually having a big three. You got a guy that decides, I'm not going to play because I don't want to get the shot. Hey, more power to you, your choice and all, but that's not putting the team first, and everybody else is putting an effort trying to win a championship. You're not putting 100%, so he was getting frustrated, which he said in 2 or 3 different press conferences. He said he's getting frustrated with all the losses. Then you got Kyrie, that's a part-timer, like Frank was calling him, which he is.
Part-time.
And, Durant, unfortunately, as great of a player he is, he's also,
can't stay healthy.
He's on the injury-prone thing because that was a big injury, and I think he, that's a lot of stress for him to be playing all these minutes and running up and down that court after an injury like that. I know something about that. So I think that's why he left, is because the frustration of Kyrie, Kevin Durant, like they're basically taking turns playing. So I'm gonna leave the Brooklyn trade alone.
What about the other side?
Yeah,
now?
it just
Wasn't
what.
Well, the
Harden
other
expected.
side, Philly. Let's see how they. Now, obviously, what do you guys think about the trade on their end?
I think
Because I think Brooklyn got the short end of the stick.
I
in
think
this
they
one.
did too.
Yes.
I think James Harden and Joel Embiid are gonna kill
Okay.
out there, and you still have some other quality players around them in Philly. It's not like they have.
You do have quality players. I agree with you on that. But I feel like Harden's defense is going to be going to be questioned for that team. And the rest of the Philadelphia 76ers, they're about that defense. Okay, so Harden sometimes he be in a twilight zone sometimes, and he just be making some of this bogus moves. Sometimes he just doesn't go for the plays that he gives up. That's what I'm saying about that. I think that isn't like if Harden plays like that All-Star MVP player, yeah, no question, Philly is gonna be really troublesome.
I agree with you that their defense will slack off with Harden because let's be honest, Harden never played defense in his whole life, so that's not going to change. You can't sit there and teach an old dog new tricks at this point.
Yeah.
So he ain't going to get no better on defense. He's going to give him an offensive spark, which is fine if he can get on fire. He's been struggling this year.
It's just the rule changes.
And I think it's going to put more pressure on Embiid. And I think the trade works out a little bit better for Philly, but to be honest with you, I think this trade is not going to really make a big difference on where they're going to go in the conference and where they're going to go in this year in the playoffs. I don't think it's going to make Philly any championship contender. They're not getting out of the East. Okay. And Brooklyn's definitely not going to get out
So
of the
where
East.
do you see them going then? How far?
Maybe second round, maybe. I don't see them doing much more than that. And I don't know what it is. It's for some reason, I don't want to say Harden gives a team a curse.
No,
I don't want to say that, but Oklahoma City, big expectations didn't work out.
How?
Houston,
He was a six-man.
They didn't win the championship. He got to the finals.
But
That was his biggest success was in Oklahoma City. He went to the finals. Because he went to the finals.
So
Houston.
No. He went to the finals. No, he went to the finals with Oklahoma City when they played Miami.
He almost went to the finals with Houston.
Now, Houston,
with Chris
what
Paul.
a big disappointment. Because they were expected to win championships there. They didn't even get to the finals. Not once.
Well, Chris Paul got hurt like twice.
Right.
And they
But hear me out. Because it's not just Chris Paul. And then last year, when we went to Brooklyn, the last couple of years went to Brooklyn, you see what happened. You all watch these playoff games. Well, let me just remind you, because I watched them too. Harden does not do very well in the playoffs. And his numbers show it. He was struggling against Milwaukee last year in the playoffs. He was struggling every year he was in Houston when they make it to the playoffs. Mr. Not so clutch. I don't want to say choke, but hey, it is what it is.
Like I said,
he didn't do anything.
Defense and
He
rebounds
didn't do
come
anything.
in.
But see, his high scoring, 30 points, hitting threes from everywhere was not was not doing it in the playoffs. Never in the playoffs, he shut down. It seems like every team that plays him in the playoffs, when playoff time comes, it's Harden goes to sleep.
I don't know. He was still putting up 20+ points.
Yeah.
And his team does not go anywhere. They either get swept out the playoffs or they lose in 7.
So let's talk about this now.
I'm just saying, I don't think
Milwaukee had a good trade. You think so? You think they had a
Milwaukee?
They had a good.
Well, they got
good
Siakam
addition.
somehow from Toronto, so that's going to do good for them.
It gives
Because
them another extra big man
they fill in that
for
void.
defense.
Yeah,
Let's
they fill
correct that. It's not Pascal Siakam, it is Serge Ibaka.
I'm sorry, Serge Ibaka. I keep saying. I'm sorry, everyone.
That's a totally
We all
different
Serge
caliber
Ibaka.
player.
We all
Serge
know.
Ibaka is
Ibaka was
well
in-
in his twilight in his career right now. But
Ibaka.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean he's a good rebounder. He still blocks shots.
They can give
so
him
you
that,
can't
he's
say
that
that.
extra defense.
He gives him that missing person. But what's his name's missing this year? Lopez. Remember they had him last year, so he's not playing this year. They don't have him, or he's not playing. He's injured, or whatever. Or I don't think he's still on the team. So they had to fill that void. Ibaka does give him that surge. While Ibaka's not going to give him the points that Lopez was giving him.
No.
But we'll see what happens.
he's gonna be a presence.
So what do you guys think about that trade with Portland and New Orleans?
Boom.
Well,
No.
it was should have happened a long time ago. I know Mike is gonna put his 2 cents in this because he's been waiting for that McCollum and what's his name break up for a few
Damian
years.
Lillard.
Lillard break up
I
for
mean,
years.
this experiment's been going on for about 6-7 years.
They just can't find out.
They look like they're so good every single year. It's Dame time. And the guy is great. The guy can play. I mean, he can flat out shoot. He got mad handles. Super athletic, great game IQ. I mean, you can see it in the playoffs. But as great as he is, he never has a good enough supporting cast. I mean, CJ McCollum is great. He'll get you 25 a night on any given basis. But you can usually tell when like a duo match up well together. You know, you can see it. But with them, it looks like it was like the same identical players. There was always something missing. They get big men. They get Nurkic. They had somebody else, another big man. It was just never good enough. And it's like, it's time to break this experiment up, just like Boston. It's like, break it up already, start over, and let these guys flourish. Like Damian Lillard, I'm hoping that he does not stay in Portland and he goes somewhere else and explores, elsewhere. As much as he says he wants to stay there, but I thought it was a great trade. The Pelicans get CJ McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., and Tony Snell.
So they're trying to keep my man Zion there. That's what it is.
So Zion, wait. Let's get to wait. So this guy again, he was supposed to be the next LeBron James because man, I watched him play in high school on ESPN or some a sports channel. I watched Zion. I watched Zion do a dunk contest.
Yeah, we both did.
Duke's one of the best Duke players ever of all time.
Exactly. I mean, he was a great player, but it looks like he didn't have a nutritionist or something, because it's like
He does.
this man just got so big that his feet just can't handle it. I mean, he came from a foot injury, came back out, and it's like, oh, you know what? He's so heavy that his bones just can't handle. So I think he had another surgery again on his bones, and they're hoping that now it's gonna be good, for him to run up and down that court. But I heard he was rumored at 350 pounds.
He's a big man.
That is heavy.
He's another Greg Oden to me, unfortunately. Big first round top pick, expected to be dominating. Instead, he's injury prone. He has not played. He's barely. Same thing with Greg Oden. Barely when he got drafted.
Greg Oden really wasn't a player at all.
Greg Oden was the number 1 overall pick,
But he wasn't a good player.
and he was injured as soon as he.
How was
he
he number
started
1
the
pick
league.
if he wasn't a good player?
He was a good player in college, but he wasn't a good player in the NBA.
Well, that's Zion. What's he done?
He's a way better player.
Yeah.
Way better.
He performed. Zion was putting up
exactly.
26 points
When
a
does he
game.
play? I
Oden
mean, Greg
did not
Oden
do
would have
that.
performed too if he could play. But he can't
Oden did
play.
that. Exactly. You said key words. If he could play. But
Zion, if he could play.
Zion did
When
play.
has he played last? He hasn't played at all this
He had
season.
a broken foot.
Same thing with Greg Oden, had broken bones in his feet.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's similar.
But Greg Oden never put up the numbers that
Because he
Zion
never
started.
played.
It
You
didn't matter.
can't play if you're injured.
It didn't matter. He
Same
couldn't-
thing with Zion. He doesn't play. He's
He just
injured.
wasn't a good player.
This is year 3. Year 3.
Yeah.
And how many games does he have under his belt in 3 years?
That over.
We're over halfway season. This is halfway done with season number 3 now.
Well,
and he has he even played 50 games in his NBA career?
See, the problem is,
I think he's played about 50 or 60.
Really?
This is the problem when you have
I don't know.
all these internet
check
basketball players, and they go to these schools, and they still on the internet all these highlights, and you go into the NBA. He wasn't ready. I don't believe so. That it could have been. He could have took another year or 2 in the college.
Well, we'll see because
they were.
He ain't coming back.
Up.
He's not coming back this season. I don't see him playing this season.
You know why? The only reason I think it was a smart decision for him to go in the NBA, because think about it.
He's better than everybody else.
If he would have stayed another year in college, that injury could have happened because his weight was getting there. Could have broke his foot there and never really made it to the NBA to make that NBA money.
He's playing against grown men.
But see, and that's another thing too. The NBA is too damn young. It's too damn young. You need some veterans in there and be like, look, dude, you too big. This is your career now. This is where you making exactly.
Well, with this cancel culture PC type of world that we're in now, you can't say, you say the wrong thing, you're done. You say the wrong thing to play, they're insulted, and it goes online and you're canceled. So it's, I hate to say it's.
We're going online. We don't get canceled for this. But
the National Boys Association, let's just call it that. I've been saying that for a while now.
But that's the problem. The league is just too darn young. And far as like going back to Portland and everything like that, it's the West. There's a lot of good players, a lot of good teams in there. So it's gonna be hard for my main man.
You take Phoenix and Golden State out the West, and it's pretty mediocre. It's pretty mediocre in the West.
Mediocre. Memphis.
Exactly.
The East is much more competitive than the West is.
No, man. I still think the West is still competitive.
Phoenix is 45-10. Golden State's 41-15. After that, you have a drop off.
Memphis is
39-18. And then what's after that? Utah, 35 wins. Dallas, 33 wins.
But these guys are in first place in the East.
But they're in the East.
I know.
The East is much more. The East is more competitive. The East is more competitive.
Look at the numbers.
Exactly.
The guys in the 4th place in the West
Eastern
will be in first place.
The Eastern Conference teams are more competitive. And in my opinion, I believe the East is better than the West this year.
Wow.
I mean, with the exception of Golden State? And Phoenix, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm going to continue to say this. Phoenix can have the best record in the league, which they have, and they probably will finish with the best record in the league. Okay? But that's not going to mean anything because they already had their opportunity. And it's just a matter of time they're going to choke. And I would not be surprised. Look at this. Go to standings. I would not be surprised. Right now, if the playoffs were to start, they would play the Clippers in the first round. That's just the way things are. Let's just say that's how it goes. And then in the second round, they would play between Utah and Dallas. Okay. They might beat those teams. But then the 2 teams that they're not going to beat, most likely, the 2 teams they're not going to beat, which is they better stay in first place because they won't beat Golden State in the 7-game series. Okay. And I don't think they'll beat Memphis in the 7-game series. So, but they don't have to worry about that if they stay where they are because Golden State and Memphis will have to play each other and Phoenix will only have to play one of those teams. But it won't matter because one of those teams are going to come out of that bracket and they'll beat Phoenix.
Frank, do you see their home record and their road record?
Mm-hmm.
They're almost identical.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they have identical record like this last season?
It doesn't matter.
But they had this last season. What's the difference? You know what the difference is? Golden State was not on that level last year because Klay Thompson was hurt and they weren't gelling like that until the end of the season. It's a different story now. Golden State's back. Golden State is
get down and Greek freak.
Golden State is back, and no one expected Memphis to be on the surge that they're on. So, hey, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be Golden State or Memphis. I don't even say Memphis. Memphis will probably make it out, but they gotta play Golden State. They're gonna lose. This is Golden State's conference to win. Is Phoenix? They can have the home court. They can have the best record, but you can always count on Phoenix. You can always count on Phoenix, folks, to choke.
it's their second year together having
Exactly.
Devin Booker and Chris Paul.
Exactly.
I mean, last
Okay.
year.
Okay. Well, we'll have this conversation. We'll have this conversation in May. We'll have this conversation in May when they're eliminated in the second round.
I'll be happy.
And you're gonna be like here with your lip moving.
In the when they are eliminated in the conference finals, I want to say I told you so.
Okay.
I see these things.
You do?
Just like I called the games in the playoffs in the NFL. I can see it. And you go, how many times are you going to give a team to get so far before you say, oh, that's enough is enough?
This
You had
is
your
their second
opportunity.
year.
Yeah, exactly. That's their second
They
year.
had their opportunity last year
And they have
when
it again this
when
year.
they were up
Exactly.
2-0. They were up 2-0 against Milwaukee in the finals
45 and
last
10
year,
record.
and they choked.
They've only lost
I
10
don't see-
games.
yeah.
Okay.
And you have your Golden State Warriors that have lost 15 games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still impressive. I
Exactly.
mean, man, 41 and 15, that is super impressive.
Golden
But
State
still.
doesn't need to have home court throughout the entire thing.
Neither does Phoenix.
Phoenix,
I
they
can't
need it,
tell,
but it's not
because
gonna, it's not
wait,
going to
wait,
matter
wait,
because
wait.
they're not going to make it out
Look at-
anyway.
How is that possible when you're looking at the numbers here where it shows Golden State's home record is 25 and 5,
Mhm.
but road 16 and 10. So they've lost 10 games on the road. They've only lost 5 at home. That tells
You know
me,
why?
That tells me home court advantage does matter.
By the time the playoffs start, Klay Thompson will be in full shape.
Oh, good Lord, bro.
Curry will be in full shape.
Here we go.
Okay,
Curry's already.
and
already in full
so
shape.
they will be completely ready for the playoffs.
Look at those guns he's got, man. His arms are just like, you know, you can definitely tell he's been.
And
putting
if
in
I'm not
work.
mistaken, I don't think either one of you expected them to even be where they are right now.
Who?
I think you guys probably had them at the bottom feeders in the
Who?
in the playoffs.
I did not say they were
Golden
bottom
State.
feeders.
No.
You sure didn't have, and none of you had them going being number 1 or number 2 in
I
the
said that
West.
they would be about
Man,
fourth
once
or
they get
fifth.
Clay, that was
Fourth or
it.
fifth.
And most of this damage they've done, there's 41 wins that they've done, have been without Clay. Most of the wins.
Really?
So when everyone is together and they just need some playing time together, I'm telling you, and I'm a Bulls fan and I want my Bulls to win it all.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Like
I'm
that.
picking it right now, I picked this already. I already picked when the season started. You know this. I picked Golden State will be back, and I picked them to win the championship.
I hear you.
So
Okay.
they're,
They
in my
gotta get
opinion,
past, they gotta
they're
get
going to
past
win.
Phoenix first.
I'm sure they will have no problem doing that.
They gotta get past.
Oh, they will. Trust me, they will.
Okay. all
They
right.
will.
When don't be coming back here crying because Devin Booker's.
Oh, don't be coming crying when Chris Paul
Playing
chokes
lights
again.
out.
Chokes again.
Who's
Chris Paul chokes again,
It
or
wasn't
claims
Chris Paul that choked last year.
claims
it
injury.
was Greek Freak.
Yeah.
You know, they had a 2-0 again. They had a 2-0 lead. I guarantee you this: if Golden State had a 2-0 lead against Milwaukee in the finals, I guarantee they would.
They had a 3-0 lead.
Okay, no team has ever come back from 3-0 in the NBA history, come back in the playoffs to win the series.
So the
So
Lakers, right? They weren't.
nobody.
They weren't up 3.
You know about the
What
dreaded.
about Cleveland and Golden State that one year?
That went no. I think Golden State was up 3-2. Okay,
No, they had an
were
earlier
not.
lead than that.
They were
Yeah.
not. No team in NBA history.
Well, they were at least up 2-0.
You know about the dreaded 0-3 deficit. What's the team's 0-100 and something?
Yeah.
No team in the NBA history
No,
has
they
ever
were
come back from down
I'm pretty, sure
0-3.
I'm pretty sure they were up 2 games. And,
There's only been 2 teams. I think there's only been like 2 teams in professional sports history that have ever come back from 0-3, and none of them were in the NBA. I think one was baseball with the Red Sox and the Yankees when the Red Sox won the championship for the first time in 80-something years, and I believe it was a hockey team in the NHL that did it. You know, in basketball, never happened,
All right.
ever happened.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna move on to another surprising one for me.
okay,
The Dallas Mavericks. They offload Kristaps Porzingis over to the Washington Wizards. Like, what sense did that make? In my opinion, it's like Porzingis is a marquee scorer. He's lengthy. The guy's like 7 feet tall. I mean, he's a professional. Yeah, he's a little injury prone, but I would not have offloaded him to pick up, Spencer Dinwiddie. I like Dinwiddie. I liked him when he was in Brooklyn a couple of years ago. I mean, I thought he was a great player. He was a smart plug off their bench, and he put up 20 points a night easily. So
He's still a young player,
he looks
though.
like he was comfortable.
he's still a young player.
And he was doing his thing in Washington, but as soon as Kyle Kuzma showed up, It's true. Kyle Kuzma picked up the scoring. He's a better scorer, more efficient.
Yep.
Healthier.
He was a good player.
You know. So, I mean,
Washington is sitting at 11th right now.
It doesn't matter.
Dallas.
yeah, Porzingis
You
just
know,
got there.
yeah, Porzingis. I mean, does
Second.
that sound like a little? Seems like he's a little bit of an issue. I mean, how many teams has he gone to now?
I mean,
How many teams is this now? He was supposed to be New York's future, the Knicks' future, wasn't he?
yeah, but they were hating on him in New York. So
And now he
that was
goes
an
to
issue.
Dallas. It didn't work out there. I mean, man, it's like a revolving door with him.
Kind of.
My goodness. I mean, it's not like he's a championship caliber type player. He's not. He's a big guy, but he's been pretty disappointing. I mean, I guess he thinks he's the man on the team. He's supposed to be the man on the team in New York.
Well, he was. Who drafted him? The great Phil Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah, he wanted him out there because he saw something special in him, and when he got out there, he was special. I mean, the guy was special, but he just didn't. He didn't mesh well with the team.
So Porzingis is going back to the East
Yeah,
with Kuzma.
yeah.
Beal's not coming back this season. He just had surgery on his
Yep,
wrist, so I don't think he's
done.
coming back this
That's
season.
another guy, in my opinion, that is milking the system. I'm sorry, man. How many
No,
years
he's a good player.
He's a great player, but
He's
man,
just
how many
injured.
years in a row
He's
are
just
you gonna
injury
be? Half the season I'm hurt. I gotta take an end season ending injury.
Oh, who
I gotta get surgery.
okay, who's more injury prone, him or Derrick Rose?
Same. Except this guy comes back every year. Except and Derrick Rose might take a little bit longer because
Right.
I think Derrick Rose is out now. He had some sort of injury. I think it was gonna be for 6 months. He was gonna be out. So
Same story with that guy every year, boy. Goodness.
so
Ooh, I'm glad the Bulls didn't pick him up. Ooh,
that was a
boy.
crazy one.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for
go
that
ahead.
correction. Golden State, they had a 3-1 lead on Cleveland that year, and
Teams have come back from
and then
3-1.
They came back from that.
No, but you could just believe what I said. No
I
team in
believe what
NBA
I
history.
said.
They say it every year in the playoffs.
No, I
no
did
team
agree
in
with
history has never come back from 0-3.
I did agree with that.
No one. That's just too much. Just
But,
too difficult to do.
Yeah, but
That will never happen.
well, what about Jordan?
Jordan ain't there.
Jordan would come back.
First of all, Jordan would never let his team get down 0-3. So that would never happen.
But anyway, Milwaukee came down from 0-2, so that's equal. And then
I'm sorry. I know you guys love Phoenix, but to me, they're a good
I think Phoenix is a better team
they're a
than
good
Phoenix.
regular season team.
Frank doesn't like Chris Paul.
No, he doesn't.
So because
No, I
of
didn't say I
that,
didn't like
there's-
Chris Paul. I
there's-
just said
there's
they're a
there's
regular
certain
season
bias.
team.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
you. I know when you don't like
Exactly.
players.
Yeah.
No.
You don't
Yeah.
like them. You don't
Yeah,
like the
you don't
team.
like the
So
team.
it's not happening. So this is.
Oh no.
I know.
It's
all right. It's all right.
No, I think Devin Booker is a good player. I think that guy Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton.
Ayton, yeah, Ayton. I think he's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
They got some pieces there.
Okay.
Chris Paul, he's an okay veteran, but he's a flopper. He passes the ball, but and again, he's another one. When it comes to the playoff time, this guy does not perform,
He does
and he can never deliver the goods.
Yeah.
That's why he's been in the league for how many years has he been in the league? 14, 15 years, and he how many championships?
Okay.
How many NBA final appearances?
Unfortunately, he had a lot of injuries.
There's a trend. Him, Chris Paul, James Harden. You get the picture? These guys go to different teams, and the same result.
No, man, he makes them.
They
make
make
their
them
teams
better.
better.
But
every
they don't.
single time.
But they don't win the
Chris Paul even
championship.
went to OKC and made them relevant again.
Exactly.
Just by him.
They didn't even make the
just going to
playoffs when he was on the team. They were rebuilding. They just had to pick up the salary.
Towards the end of the season on that.
He goes from team to team to team to team. Playoffs, early playoff exit or mid playoff exit, but the end result is we don't see him on that stage celebrating with the NBA Finals trophy.
Okay.
We don't see that
You probably
with him
will
and
see it
Harden.
this year, Frank.
I believe Harden said that he'll cut his beard when he wins a championship. Well, I guess that's not gonna happen.
I don't know about all that, man, because he's gonna be in Philly, and I think Philly's gonna take the East. If the Bulls don't take it, Philly's gonna take the East with that trade. You guys are sleeping on the monster in Philly right now.
But are you
Nah,
falling
we
asleep?
feel
But are you
weak.
falling asleep?
It's gonna be a crazy
Well,
pick and roll action. action going on out there.
Well,
Let's hope so.
The East in a way is wide open, but the bottom line with the East is this. You have to beat Milwaukee 4 out of 7 games.
I agree with that.
They're the champions.
Yep.
You got to knock them out.
And
What's their- what-
Greek
what
Freak
are
is
they
hard
right
to
now?
knock out.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it
They're,
doesn't
they're,
matter.
they're a top 4 team.
They're in the 4th place right now.
And that's why the Bulls have to move. Well, no, the Bulls could stay pat with Cleveland, which is a big surprise. I'm still not convinced they're going to stay there. But if they flip-flop Bulls, Cleveland 1, 2, and 3, and keep Milwaukee
Cleveland
at
is
4,
dope,
if Milwaukee stays at 4 with Miami at 1, then Miami and Milwaukee will play each other out. They have to play each other in the second round.
Cleveland is dope.
They're impressive.
They are a good
They
team.
put all that height on that team.
And I'm very surprised. I mean, they're really overachieving. Can we be honest?
They're not overachieving, man. That's
No one
a good
expected
solid
them.
team.
No one expected them to be number 2 in the East right now. I know, I did.
That's a good solid team.
We'll see where they finish.
But no one expected the Bulls to be up here either.
No, they did not.
Okay.
But everyone expected the Bulls to be improved.
Yes.
No one expected Cleveland to do anything this season, though. Let's be honest. They expected the Bulls to improve and maybe make the playoffs in a play-in series, play-in tournament. You guys know about this when the preseason standings started. Before the preseason started, they predicted the Bulls to possibly compete for a playoff spot, between the 7th and the 10th spot. They expected the Bulls to compete for a spot there and possibly get in with the moves they made. But Cleveland, everyone had Cleveland being at the bottom, not even competing for a playoff spot.
Good.
So yes, they're very, very impressive.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. I'm not sold on Cleveland
You're not
That's
sold on
going
You're not
far in the
So
playoffs.
what do you think? Well, moving on from there, what do you think about our Chicago Bulls? I think they are playing pretty decent. They're holding above water right now. You still kind of fighting through some of the injuries and everything like that.
Mhm.
But still lacking on the defense. Still lacking on defense, and that bothers me.
I heard,
about you?
I heard that they. You can still get players off of waivers and stuff. So I was hearing.
You don't need no more.
No.
players.
I was hearing that I'd say it's going to happen, but the look is, the Bulls need a big man. I was hearing that they may try to get what's his name, Tristan Thompson.
So he just got traded, right?
Tristan Thompson.
Yes.
But are they going to be cutting him where he got traded to?
How'd you hear about this?
We don't need that drama here, man.
Well, no. Teams usually will pick up salaries and get rid of players.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
we don't need that drama here, bro.
Why?
What drama is that?
Might bring
Wait, he's a big man that they need. What drama is he bringing?
You see?
Kardashian.
Oh, that's awful.
You see? The Pacers got Tristan Thompson, Tyrese Halliburton, and Buddy Hield.
Okay, now you said that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Indiana got, right?
That's what the Pacers got. Yes.
Take a look, and this is what I'm gonna say, that they're probably gonna buy him out. They're not in competition mode. This season.
19.
So they're on selling mode.
and 30.
Yeah,
So
they
they're,
sell everybody.
so they're probably gonna just cut him and buy him out and put him on waivers, and the team will
I
pick him
don't
up.
want him, man. I don't think he's that.
But the Bulls need a big man.
So what?
If you can have, because Vucevic is going to be sitting out on the outside trying to hit threes,
They run their defense.
and you can
defense. I'm sorry. They run their offense too.
But we need there's 2 problems with the Bulls. They give up too many threes, and they have no inside presence. They give up so much points on the paint, like last night. They were sitting there letting who did they play last night?
Carl Anthony Thomas.
They were letting Minnesota just get whatever they wanted.
They
It wasn't
were-
just him. It wasn't just
because
him.
he's a
It
good
wasn't
player.
just him.
Ant-Man.
Everybody was coming down low and
Ant-Man.
was getting easy layups.
But
and
this
just
is what
simply just
that's what they
scoring
do.
what they
though.
want in the
Ant-Man.
paint.
You got Anthony
But it's not
Edwards.
just Minnesota.
Okay.
Every team that they're playing takes advantage of the weakness, and their weakness is in the middle. They have no interior
I don't think
defense.
their weakness is in the middle.
I
think
believe
their
it
weakness
is. They give up too many
in
points
the
in the
defense
middle.
is rotating, being able to rotate to the man who's open.
And they easily
They
get
over
inside
pursue.
the inside points. They give up a lot. Now, I haven't checked the stats, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're probably one of the top teams in the league that give up the most points in the paint. And of course, obviously, their top defenders are still hurt, so it's going to be a while before they come back. But the Bulls' problem is maybe when these players come back and they get everybody 100% healthy, they can kind of mask some of that with their defense. But the bottom line
I
is,
could only go for so.
but the bottom line is they give up too many threes. They give up way too many
That's
threes.
because they can't
and they have
rotate,
no
right?
and they have no inside presence, and they're
Who
interior
plays
defense is
inside though,
bad.
Frank? How many players play inside besides Embiid and Greek Freak?
Well, you need to hog up the middle so they don't take it in on you. Let them shoot from outside the paint, but don't let them bring it in every single time when they're scoring. I understand players like Embiid and some of those other big men are going to get theirs, but don't let the other little guys just come on in there and just do a layup and just go right by you and do another layup and then do a layup and get fouled.
You know why that, right?
So I mean, that is the problem. It really bothers me, and you saw this yesterday. They had they pulled away in the fourth quarter, but they had like a 9-point lead in Minnesota, like in the second quarter, and Minnesota came back and took the lead on them.
And then got went up 6 on them.
You know
why,
like,
right?
Because the inside defense.
It's a game of spurts.
And threes.
Exactly. It's a game of
Okay.
spurts.
And the problem with the Bulls
And Milwaukee
is
and Minnesota was playing defense, and they were getting back. They were making, they were getting steals,
but the problem
and they were making those buckets.
But the problem the Bulls is like they build a little bit of a lead, and teams. And I hate to say it, teams like Minnesota and tonight when they play OKC, put these teams away early. Get rid of them. Teams like that with the talent that the Bulls have. They should easily have a 20-point lead on this team at halftime. And then by third quarter, they should be up by 25 to 28 points. And then that's it. You lock them down early and don't give them any hope to coming back. And they way too many teams that they let come back, especially mediocre teams, bottom feeding teams, they let come back, and that's the problem.
You ever heard
Now,
of
of course,
playing down to your talent?
You don't do that though.
That's what
happens,
against you.
Yeah, and that's the problem, and that's why Donovan needs to get on them about that. Now I understand now maybe when they get everybody healthy, because you got to remember they are missing a lot of people. They're missing Caruso, they're missing Ball, they're missing Jones Jr., they're missing what's him with the broken hand who might come back, but I don't think he will. The number 1 pick last year. No.
It's not Patrick Williams.
No. Patrick Williams. Yeah, that's him.
Patrick Williams.
Yeah, he's hurt. No, they say he's a possibility. I don't think he's coming back this season. But if he does, great.
Didn't we see him at the game when
he was at the game, but he was
dribbling
street clothes. Yeah, he was a little bit, but he wasn't really doing.
He was dribbling the ball pretty good. He looked like he was. I don't know.
He's a he had a broken wrist. That takes a long time to heal.
I know.
I mean, he's not expected to play this season.
No, he's
if
not.
he comes back, fine.
He's expected. He's probably gonna come back. That's what they're saying. So.
Well, I mean, that'll be good if he
ahead of
does,
schedule.
but we'll see. But they have a lot of injuries, especially the key defensive players. And then, by the way, I mean, not yesterday's game, but the game before the Bulls had played.
What, Charlotte?
Charlotte. It was Charlotte. It was Charlotte.
Yeah.
JR or Zach LaVine.
Thank you.
Wow!
Okay.
Thank you. Finally.
He had a quiet 27 points. But is it me, or have you noticed since he's come back, he is struggling a little bit with his shot. I'm not gonna say he's not being aggressive. He's not being as aggressive as he was before he got injured.
Really.
And like yesterday, I think he only had like 17 points or 12 points or something like that.
I think he finished with like 12 or 14.
Yeah, that's a horrible game.
And he usually outperforms everybody.
Except DeRozan.
No, against Minnesota, he averages 28 points.
Yeah, he has a really good game against them. Yesterday, he had probably the worst against them.
Yeah, you're right.
But he's been struggling a little bit here, and maybe he just has to get the wind under him or something. I don't know, but he needs to pick it up. The Bulls need to now tonight they're playing OKC. They need to put them away early. This game should be over by the end of the first quarter. The game should be over.
It's not like that though, because OKC's actually a pretty good team.
What's their record?
You're looking at records again. It's just like you said before. The records don't matter. OKC is a pretty dynamic
bottom
team.
feeders.
They don't go away.
Put them away.
Do not expect this to be a blowout game. It'll come down to like 6 points left in like a minute left in the game, and they'll be fighting for that win. But I still expect my Bulls to win.
But you know this.
Exactly.
Now when you're playing these bottom feeding teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it doesn't.
You want to step on their throat early and kill their confidence.
Play down to your talent.
Exactly.
Kill their. But wait, it's not. A lot of you kill their confidence. Like, no, you're not coming up in here getting no 12-0 runs, 8-0 runs. We're gonna put an 18-2 run on you. We're gonna stop on your throat.
Stop.
You're not coming back, and
Teams
we're just gonna
get
end
bored.
that.
Teams get bored. That's the problem at times.
No,
Teams
Bulls
get
can't afford to get bored.
They can't afford to, but it
Okay.
happens. It happens.
Now you have teams like the Lakers and LeBron and them where they get bored or whatever. The veterans on those teams. This team cannot get bored. You're only
But
one
it
game out of
happens.
first
They
place.
get bored.
You're one game out of first place in the East. You want to get that. You want to get that top spot again.
Yeah.
You want to be. You want to put these teams away. You can't afford to be laying an egg against
I understand
Oklahoma
that, but
City or anything.
teams
You
get
gotta put them away.
bored. They get bored. It's
Not
nothing
with-
you can do about
It's
that.
not team. I understand your veteran teams like a Milwaukee, like a Golden State. You know, like those teams, those veteran teams. I can understand they may get bored. They just want to coast through and get in the playoffs.
Right.
Not the Bulls. The Bulls can't afford that. They don't have that. They
I
don't
know
have
you
those
made
type
your
of players.
point, but it happens, Frank. It doesn't matter.
I don't think it happens with them. I just think
until you get blue
I
in
just
the
think
face.
they're playing lazy defense, and I think that they got to tighten it up in the middle. They got to start playing better defense on the threes.
Okay. All right.
Well, we're gonna end this show with the NBA talk, the trades and the Bulls, because we want to do a little special one today, for the Super Bowl. So it will be two separate ones. So in case you want to watch something for the NBA, you can watch this show. You want to watch something a little bit shorter for the NFL Super Bowl tomorrow, just watch that one. But we
Yes.
definitely want to have two separate editions so you can enjoy that. All right. Again, for the end of the night, thanks again for watching Sports Opinions with regular guys.
Thanks for
We hope-
listening.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Thank
This
you
is,
for listening. Have any questions? Post them.
Yep.
Yep. New people, old people,
Does
doesn't
not matter.
Link is.
Yep.
We got a Twitter account. No, we don't. We don't got no Twitter account. We don't like that. But we have an Instagram account, Facebook account,
YouTube.
Yep,
You can see
YouTube.
us.
Questions, comments, criticisms. If you like my man's hair, say so. If you don't like my hair, say so. I don't care. Let's just do it. All right.
All right.
Tell your mama. Tell your daddy.
All right. See you guys next.